All right then. Hello, everybody. Welcome. A little bit early today. That's fine, considering we were a little bit late yesterday. Let's turn this up. Let's turn this up. Let's turn this one down. So quite a few things to talk about today. Quite a few. I actually just posted a tweet remarking part of it is to do with the mails that I'm going to go over in a moment. But let's get our standard stuff done first. Let's put it that way. And then we'll go from there. I'm actually really excited about today's master. Like, super excited. Because as of about, I don't know, 12 hours ago, something very cool happened. We're actually going to see a timestamp with it as well that I want to play with. So, anyway, yeah, we're just going to fly through some of these orbs. Get the 2 races done. Possibly also the strike mission. So anyone who wants to do that on EU, you're more than welcome to come along and just set that squad up. We'll go ahead and play it. Not sure if I'm going to do fractals. I am pretty tired. You know, I was talking about being biphasic or whatever with the sleep before. Wow, only 7th today? Jesus, that was slow. Yeah, well, I skipped out on one of those halves. The theory being that I can get back to having 1 whole sleep. But that means I'm pretty tired right now. So, hopefully we can resolve that in just a moment. So yeah, let's grab that. I'm glad you guys liked the Herald video as well. It was pretty cool actually. Not only did you guys like the Herald video, and lots of people are asking. So I shot that Herald video ages ago now, and I have to say the enthusiasm I felt during that video is kind of waned by now because it was so long ago. But I shot that video, and at the very end, so we did. When Path of Fire was coming out, I sat down and I cranked out like 9 2-hour-long videos or something like that, going over all of the Path of Fire elite specs. Then about a year ago, I figured, hey, I've only got half of them done. Maybe I should do the Heart of Thorns ones as well. That would be pretty cool. And the idea was that I could put up the other 9 as kind of a, hey guys, this is a thing I do, you know, series thing. That would mean when another expansion rolls around and even more elite specs come out, everyone should be asking me, where's the introducing videos? I want to see the introducing videos. And we have the full catalog done. Anyway, so over this year, I just kind of slowly paced them out. You know, I did one every couple of months or whatever. But I did them in bulks. And the last batch I finished was like a few months ago. Anyway, now that I'm done with it all, and there's no expansion in sight, there's like at least another year, maybe longer, before we see any new elite specs, possibly. I don't know. I mean, they've revealed the details of episode 1 and there's no elite specs there, and it doesn't feel like there's going to be elite specs going on, right? So maybe I bridge the next gap, this unfortunate gap that none of us really want to be in. Maybe I bridge that gap with core builds, and I do introducing not the Dragon Hunter or the Firebrand, introducing the Guardian, and I go over all of its 5 original specialization lines, and then its weapons, and then its utility skills. It's an idea. I would just have to figure out exactly how to orient it, because that is a lot of information. You know, currently for the elite specs, it's like an hour per part, and that's just 1 trait line, 1 set of utility skills, and 1 weapon. That's it. What goes on top of that is the collection rewards, which doesn't take very long, let's be real, and then the unique mechanic. Now, the unique mechanic can take some time quite often, and also, which we wouldn't have to do if we were doing core builds, so there's a bit of a time save there. And also, a lot of the elite specs are just, they're more complicated than the core stuff. Well, is that true? With all the fucking bloat in the game now, and every skill doing 2, if not 3, if not 4 different things at once? So I don't know how I'd do it. I definitely don't like the idea of it being like Guardian Part 1 and then a week later Guardian Part 2. Come on, that's shit. That's not a thing. Oh, we could do the bartender. Hold on, let me focus on this. Anyway, I said that a lot of you guys expressed interest in wanting to see it, so I'll see whether I can do it. I just need to find the format that I'm excited about, right? That is a good compromise of this guy wants ale. Dude, I hate this sensation of racing against everyone else. And if I don't get there in time, I'm fucked. Jesus, look at that. Look how quick that ended. I think we did get a bit of progress there. We'll do the Grothmar daily as well here. I just got to find the right format. And I'm not sure what that is. But I would like to do the original 9. But you know me, if I'm not doing it like comprehensively, I really don't enjoy doing it. You know, I don't like the idea of doing some half-assed thing that won't be a definitive resource for people, that won't have staying power in future months or ideally years. So, yeah, I don't know. I also kind of want to do an update video just to talk about other changes for the elite specs, like the Druid glyph and the Scourge rework. Like, if you look at my video playlist for the whole introducing thing, I actually have a dedicated bonus video on there, which was just going over the Deadeye rework. There's not one for the Herald rework, because I hadn't done a Herald video prior to the Herald rework, so there's only one there. But Deadeye does have two. It's got Deadeye Initial, and then it's got Deadeye and Eye on the Deadeye. And the idea is you're supposed to watch both of them. And I wonder whether I should do that for some of the other POF ones now that don't necessarily have blog posts, but do need to be explained. Like, the Scourge change is pretty big. What else has changed massively? I don't know. Anyway, that's a thing. So yeah, anyway, you guys like that. The other thing, going all the way back, what I was originally trying to say is you guys like that, but also there's a really nice Reddit thread. It's been a while since I've seen a Reddit thread about my videos. Probably just because of the laziness, you know, and the fact that I've not been as efficient with the work as I should be, and I've not been putting out as much stuff as possible. And it's kind of that whole lore thing. People love to post anything. If I'm ever talking about lore, people like to talk about me talking about lore. But people don't like to talk about me talking about other things. But there's a lovely thread right now, really nice. Everyone just there's not a single mean comment in sight. There's really not. There's one guy saying, "Can the videos be shorter?" Basically, which, you know, that's not offensive or anything. That's obvious that people ask that. This is good. We get a Chili and a Devaraness in one, both of which we need progress for. But yeah, so I do recommend you guys go check that one out. It was quite pleasant to read. I'm so used to being flinchy at the opinions of the public lately. Or past flinchy, I guess. I don't know. Point of derision. So yeah, it was very, very nice. And I'm glad to see that there are noobs out there that are supporting it. And I'm even more glad to see... I'm not just happy that noobs are supporting that series, which is really what it's aimed at. I'm happy to see that veterans aren't shitting all over it because of minor discrepancies. Of which there are several, right? And there are little things that could be done better. Like I saw Nike had posted in there, and I know that Nike has seen some of my mathematical inaccuracies before and previously talked about them. But, you know, like, he held off in the thread and he said, you know, it's good for noobs or whatever. And that I'm very, very happy to see. I'm happy to see that people aren't, you know, condemning it. Because there's that weird word of mouth thing, you know, like if someone reads that there's a minor issue and they don't really know how minor it is, then they'll just latch onto it, and then they might not be tempted to click it or figure it out. I think I do such an exhaustive description of what everything does. Even if the maths itself somewhere or some misspeak or whatever exists, overall, the hour in full will teach people a lot. So, but yeah, it was just nice. It's just been nice. It's been a very nice day. And then there is another something which is really crazy for Master, which we'll look at in a second. Anyway, there's the Ghost Pepper pop-up picker. I've been mostly just doing a lot of PvP since the last stream. Lots. Probably the most PvP I've done in a day for a long time. Of course, the monthly is tomorrow, I think. Yeah, in one day, so we'll see. Don't actually think I'll be around to practice. One of our guys has the flu, another guy has no internet. So we've not really been playing with... another guy just hasn't been around and still doesn't have a mic. So we've just been grabbing what we can, but I don't even think I'll be there today, which is a bit of a shame. Noobs don't need to min-max. I just sort of see what I did as, like, what I wish the game did, you know. I wish the game was engaging enough that people had stopped at some point and taken the time to learn, you know... Oh, the blind field expands on a Reaper Greatsword? It's an expanding field? What the fuck? You know, people just don't get that stuff. And I'll tell you what it's a consequence of. I'm sorry to bang the doldrum again. It's a consequence of how fast you get the elite specs. The initial Heart of Thorns version that everyone whined about was the better way of doing it. Having it come in a little bit slower for people, where you needed a lot more of the hero challenges to fully max your spec out. Because that gave people time, as they acquired the spec, to actually stop and look at the specifics of each new thing they had unlocked as they unlocked it. And that was really good for, like, tutorializing. But, by the way, there's a billion Devaras here, but I don't see a burrow. But now we're just in this weird, silly world where the idea of unlocking the elite spec isn't even a mechanic, really. Like, let's be real, it's not really a mechanic. You just get it automatically. If you have like map comp from the previous content, which you probably do, or if you're a totally new player, can't you buy fucking things on the gem store? You can definitely trade in your world versus world or PvP efforts. So that's such a minority of the community. Maybe it's not worth fixating on, but still. Yeah, and also I saw something pretty cool, guys. I don't know how much this will be worth because the people listening to me right now are here right now. But maybe for the people listening on the VOD, anyone over on the VOD, drop a comment on WP2 if this has got to you. My old time slots, okay, the morning time slot where we were getting up and we were doing a couple of hours every morning, I obviously no longer do. I'm back to the evening one. But Inks has started up a thing. I think he said he's been doing it a week already, and I caught one of his streams this morning. Inks does that slot now, so if you guys are looking for some Guild Wars 2 entertainment in the mornings, he literally does that exact same kind of thing, like a regular, and it was really fun watching him play. He's just getting into PvP, so you know, if you guys are in a similar position, you're wondering if you want to. That's not all he does. He was here in Grothmar. Honestly, it felt a lot like one of my streams, and I say that with the highest regard for him. I think it was very cool. And if I'm up and around at that point, I'll definitely be there. But yeah, that's kind of his thing. So if you used to regularly tune in for me in the morning, you should check out Inks. He'll probably be there right then and there. I don't know whether the time is exactly the same as mine or whatever, but he's doing breakfast streams. No, it was good, dude. It was a good stream. I didn't get to catch every moment of it. A lot of it, like I said, I was PvPing, so I got distracted for certain sections. But yeah, it was pretty good. Dude, I'm doing this on a support build, which has taken a billion years. I should have just swapped. Like I say, I'm very tired, so don't expect anything actually that interesting on the gameplay here. Actually, do expect something interesting, but it's more a matter of economy than it is of gameplay. Let's see, we're getting mails in. So strike mission, we got 7 out of 10. If 3 more people want to join. It was quite interesting watching your stream as well, Inks. In a way, it kind of invigorated me on mine. Because I was watching your stream, and there was a moment where you went to your bank, and you had like 4 stacks of exotic luck in there. And I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, that's interesting. And like, I got a lot of entertainment value. Just like looking at the way your account was set up, just looking at your bank. Just like looking at... And I felt like a desire to like type and stuff. And I was like, this isn't shit content. You don't even have to... And it kind of made me think, you don't really have to try that hard to have a vaguely interesting show. Or even a just genuinely interesting show with Guild Wars. You know, I'm so insecure and like think that Twitch is so rubbish and pointless and dumb and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so I watched your stream there and I thought, you know, I'm actually really getting a kick out of this. And it made me realize a lot of people probably get that kick when they watch me. And I wanted to ask you all these like innocent questions that I think I would be snappy to my own audience about. But watching you kind of just made me sort of, it reset my base a little bit. It was good. So I was quite excited to kick up Master today because I watched yours. And I was like, yeah, this will be good. Since we're only 8 out of 10, I'll do the jumping puzzle first. Also, by the way, in our bank, we have a bunch of other keys, so I've got to, like, grab those at some point. Oh, it feels like I was just here doing this. It really does. Very weird moment. I think it's because I've slept so little. You've got 2 bags of exotic luck. You need help. So, in other words, he had a good time judging you. No. I really wasn't judging Inks. I was judging, like, the format. I was judging the experience. I was pleasantly surprised how much enjoyment I was getting just watching some Guild Wars 2. That's what I'm getting at. And it just sort of reminded me of that little thing. You know, to me, my bank is not interesting, even remotely. But it reminded me that even weird little things like that, it is interesting. Like, if I press I, and I look at these down here, someone watching the VOD or someone live right now is looking at these thinking, oh, okay, what's he got in there? What is that? How much gold has he got? How much karma has he got? All right, what's that? What's that? What's his keybinds? How do his graphics look? You know, there's all those little questions everyone's asking and just thinking. And it's all, you know, it's all a little bit of value. So I think yeah, it was good to remind myself of that. That it's not just pure, insane, unadulterated monotony day in, day out. As we open this fucking vault, as we go do some fractals. Again, the ascended thing coming in weirds me out. The viewers will watch anything. I like how you typoed that. If you get the Visage, there's a nice buy order on the TP. I think I'd unlock it, honestly, because, like, unless ArenaNet do some stuff with the drop rate, and unless they add more stuff for chilies, I can't imagine this map getting more trafficked as the season goes along. I would consider that a failure on the part of the devs, if that's true, for what it's worth. I think that they should be trying to reinvigorate this map as episode 1 and 2 come out. But, as it currently stands, this map could very much end up like Corner or something. Or like, here's a really good example, the Death-branded Shatterer. How much is his infusion worth at the moment? I doubt it moves much over the months and months and months. It's probably pretty settled, because who the fuck goes there? So, yeah, I think if I got it, I would just unlock it and get on with my life. It'd be like ripping the band-aid. A bit like when we had to spend that 1,000 gold just on the that one title, the circus voucher. Do you guys remember that? We just had to rip the band-aid. I did it at the end of the stream and just thought, ugh. And then we just logged off and we moved on. And we never thought about the pain it caused us ever again. They already upped the drop rate of it at the start of October? Okay, that's nice. Is that after, like, the Zergs had arrived and then left? I really want to see the drop-off. Oh, yeah, so here's an interesting thing. There's a Reddit thread going on. Once again, it's that time of year where people talk about NCSoft and money and investment reports and stuff. And I saw a really cool graphic. You know, we did the Guild Wars 2 trends thing, right? The Google trends for the word Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, and compare it to World of Warcraft, and you can get a general sense of how much people are talking about Guild Wars, how much it's known, stuff like that, you know. And you could see that the Guild Wars 2 launch spike, the series definitely had a bit more renown around then. But it wasn't that huge, and then it was a bit of a smaller one for Heart of Thorns, and then a smaller one, like half the size for Heart of Thorns, and then half the size for POF kind of thing. Well, that trends thing is one of the only things that I've got to go for. But there was a really cool image someone posted. I have no idea where it came from. It was very Guild Wars specific though, and it was a graph showing NCSoft West's earning reports for various quarters from like 2010 to now, and all the peaks were marked with Guild Wars 2 releases, and there were a couple of other peaks in there, like I'm sure Wildstar represents one of them, but they weren't marked. It was a very Guild Wars specific. It was a great graphic. In fact, I might still have it in my history, and it tells a different story to the Google Trends, is what I'm trying to get at. Let me see. Let me type the word earnings in history now. Report. No. Guild Wars. Let me do NCSoft. Yeah, it was this thread about how NCSoft made a $112 million investment on NCSoft West. And NCSoft West is like really just doing Guild Wars stuff. Yeah, this was 2 days ago. I could have talked about this on yesterday's stream, I guess. Who's this legend? It was someone in chat. Yeah, here you go. It was from a guy called Yay Co. Here, I'll show you guys the image, because I do think it's a wonderful image. I really do. That should be in my media drive. Let me just check. Let me go studio mode. Images. This one. Here you go, guys. Look at this. Should we make this a bit bigger, maybe? For everyone? Like, I find this very interesting. This is ArenaNet quarterly earnings, I guess. But so what do we see here? We see the torch isn't going to go out or anything if I wait ages. What do we see here? We see on the far left we're way back, right? As Guild Wars 1 comes out. And that's a small bar on the earnings. That's a small bar, apparently. Now, Google Trends, by comparison, had a massive bar at that point. And that's Q2, you know, because they had their April release, as you guys would all be more than familiar with if I ever get this fucking World of Warcraft review out. Then, you know, then you move on. You got Factions, apparently grew for revenue. And then Nightfall apparently grew. Like, this is weird to me, because I was under the apparent misapprehension that that Factions and Nightfall were flopping, were not earning them more money, were not worth it, was too much burnout, and they weren't growing at the speed they wanted to. That was what I was under the understanding of, which was what spurred the decision to go Eye of the North in Guild Wars 2. Like, this is wild. Where is this from? Like, it feels completely contrary to the story as I know it, and what Google Trend shows, and everything. But yeah, apparently they were earning more and more and more with Factions and Nightfall, which just makes the idea to U-turn and do another MMO seem all the more perplexing. But hey, there you go. Eye of the North, and then hype. Guild Wars 2, and you'll notice that the quarter Guild Wars 2 released in is not as big, apparently, as the quarter immediately following it. Because that first bar, that's like pre-orders. And then the other bar is presumably release and gem store stuff. And this is where the power of the gem store kicks in. All that shit is pretty much just gem store stuff. Heart of Thorns doesn't even represent a big spike. And doesn't represent a big change in the gem store. Actually, things drop with Heart of Thorns. And then POF over there, and it's not updated after POF. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I feel a bit weird showing it, because I don't quite know how to verify where all this information's from. Or I've not corroborated anything. But here, should I show you the Google Trends thing just for the comparison? I think I still have it. A second, guys. Oh, actually, screw it. We won't. Anyway, you guys can go to that other stream for the Google Trends. But yeah, I thought that was pretty fascinating. Very, very, very different. Is this revenue or profit? I don't really know. Whatever it said. It said revenue, didn't it? I think that chart there we just looked at definitely lines up with the whole expansion of the studio thing. But basically, there's some threads going on at the moment where people are basically saying, look, Guild Wars 2's had the right amount of funding and sort of a roughly equivalent team size for its MMO as a lot of the other big Western MMOs are. So why is Guild Wars 2 feel so resource starved? And why does Guild Wars 2 feel like it's been struggling? Why hasn't Guild Wars 2 stayed in the limelight like some of these other MMOs? Why hasn't Guild Wars 2 expanded like some of these other MMOs? What's going on? Because they've clearly had the money. The studio's clearly capable. It's a roughly equivalent number of developers and so on. And people are like talking about it. And it's like, this is just one of those weird moments where it's like, this is clearly established, guys. The majority of them were not working on Guild Wars 2. Get that into your heads, all right? The news from the layoffs, right, from before, they weren't people working on Guild Wars 2. Almost 2/3 of the studio getting laid off or whatever it was, some massive number of people. They were not working on Guild Wars 2. And that is probably the status quo for many years now. I firmly believe, I really do, that at least a year around Season 1 start, ArenaNet were working on a sci-fi MMO. That's what I believe now. And WildStar came along and fucked that plan, and then they probably had a different plan. And then, I don't know, it's mismanagement and all that kind of stuff. That's why Guild Wars feels the way it does, and everything's gone the way it does. Like, this is what I was trying to really be clear to people about. The true tragedy of April is that's the punish for all these years of, like, why isn't World vs. World getting more? Why isn't PvP getting more? Why isn't Raiding getting more? Why isn't Fractals getting more? Why isn't Corteria getting more? You know, there's a couple of us little nerds in the corner asking for that. That's the moment where it all falls down and it's like, wow, we lost all that stuff and it didn't even give us anything. That's the pain of that announcement. Not any of this other twisted bullshit where people think that like directly has a massive impact on Guild Wars. So anyway, that's what I think. It's a shame that we have to like interpret and guess and play Chinese whispers here, but there you go. Yes, Inks is right as well. The China release as well. I really... Oh shit, we're on Dagger for some reason. Oh, we're playing support, I guess. Spam buttons for no reason then. I think I've brought this topic up before. It's a pretty sour topic, but I think it's an interesting one. Alright guys, imagine this. I'm doing a YouTube video. Top 3 ArenaNet mistakes over the history of Guild Wars 2. Alright. So imagine you're Wooden Potatoes and you're doing that list. What is it? What's your list? Let's see it in chat. What's your top 3? Because I think the China release is the top of it. It seems so corporate and greedy and heartless, and ultimately was a failure and a waste of time. And just, man, I really think that's up there for me. What a waste of time at such an important period of Guild Wars 2's like progression. You know, it's such a crucial window to really instill in your fan base that you care about them and that you're going to do awesome stuff with this game, and you are doing awesome stuff with this game. And you give them the new player experience 1 and 2, and you spend out, and it's just rehashed shit from the flimsy China cash grab. Ooh. That does not sit right with me. So I think that one's at the top for me. And try not to be too like nebulous or sort of high concept of your answer. Oh, they're just the general attitude towards the community. I mean, that's not really an answer, is it? Raids is interesting because I think that most people in the community right now and in chat are boiled frogs, and they're not going to acknowledge that as a real answer. But I think, you know, we just saw like that drop off after HOT. That long wait after HOT where it was mostly raids coming out. You guys have got to understand, there's a certain breed of very casual consumer. Okay, now when I say casual consumer, I don't want you to think, you know, casual is like a word of its own, a phrase of its own now. It's kind of picked up its own meaning. I mean, literally like someone who really isn't that into Guild Wars, but they'll play it a bit and they'll look at it a bit, and that's it. They're a casual consumer. There's a lot of people like that, and to that kind of person, the true casual, the kind of casual that doesn't even get talked about or doesn't get represented on the Reddit or the forums and stuff because they genuinely are a casual and they're not actually on those places, right? Those people being telegraphed that Guild Wars was only about raids now during those Heart of Thorns days will have burnt a lot of them. And they're people that are so casual, they would never actually receive the studio statements, the numerous studio statements, and they would never have the hindsight of, you know, the 6 years of development prior, and they'd never have any trust, and they'd never have anything. All they have is the fact that they haven't really had any patches to play, but there have been raid patches, and they're familiar with that from when they used to play World of Warcraft, and they're familiar with that from when they played Final Fantasy XI or EverQuest, and that's not what they want, so they just leave. And there's no conversation, there's no outrage, there's no whatever. They just leave because they're casual consumers, and that is what was being telegraphed to them. And I think that probably was a big misstep. Again, I don't think anyone in chat right now is going to respect that enough, because there's a degree of confirmation bias going on here that we are pre-boiled. We're those that stuck around, so whatever, right? But I think that probably was a damaging moment. Even as much as I hate that that's the truth of the situation, because I happen to think that window was awesome. I really enjoyed Guild Wars 2 during that period of time, and I had absolute confidence that the devs would add non-raiding content, and when they did, it was amazing. They introduced Season 3, right? And the Season 3, like, skeleton was so good that we're still pretty much operating on that. So, you know, in terms of what a release is and how regularly and what they can do with the story and stuff. So, and new maps and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a moment. What else have people got? World versus World Neglect. So, yeah, I feel weird about that one. I don't know whether it has been... no, it definitely has been neglected more than it could have, should have, would have been if they weren't focusing on other things. Wait. We've done the JP. We've done the vault. We've done the flights. We've done the strike mission. What do we normally do next? Fractals, right? Let's make sure Grothmar's done. What's the last Grothmar thing? Oh, we still need 2. We got to do... Oh, I don't want to break the code. We can do a race. Complete the Iron Forge, the Rusty Meadows, or the Kazmir event. Fuck. Ooze Pit isn't up, is it? Oh no, this is an annoying one to do the daily. When's the new 11 World update coming? In a few days. Yeah, let me scroll up in chat. I want to see what else was in people's top 3. Esports? The decision that esports wasn't worth it? Yeah, I think there are multiple issues going on there. One was putting the cart before the horse, and then the other was abandoning it once you had a cart or whatever, right? Like the point I tried to make is when they were forcing the paid tournaments and stuff, and they were like these cringy, low-viewed, nobody coming out to the physical lands. We're just going to be paying money to the same 10 players over and over and over again, like bullshit, right? And they realized they can't keep going with it. I don't think they were wrong to stop, because it was bullshit, and it was a bit sad, and it was a bit stupid, and they clearly were putting the cart before the horse, and clearly there wasn't an esports scene or room for that money or that time or that effort and stuff. So I don't think it's a crazy idea for them to stop at that point, but I think I don't think that's the mistake. I think the mistake came before, when they didn't get proper ranked infrastructure in, and proper MMR in, and proper daily tournaments and monthly tournaments, and like reasons, like all the shit that's in the game now, basically, before all of that. And I think that mistake isn't just one moment. I think that goes way back. I wanna rewind the clock, and I wanna be a fly on the wall of whatever fucking meeting happened when they decided that they were going to release Guild Wars 2 with the Heart of the Mist and stuff in a beta. Like, they basically confirmed publicly and said, look, it was basically a beta. Like, what the fuck, man? Your release is so important. I think back to just before, when Guild Wars 2 was coming out, all those really, like, enthusiastic, like, ultra nerds who wanted to PvP in this game. And they had all of that goodwill and stuff that they built from Guild Wars 1. And they had their little teams, and they had their show matches, and they were ready to really wank this game off and go for this game's PvP. And it was all very new and exciting, and esports in general was, and it was a big thing. And I think of all those players and all those teams, and all of them leaving and being disappointed and realizing, oh, this is a fucking beta. Why do we give a fuck about this beta? Like, let's examine how that happened. Let's talk about that, shall we? And let's talk about why it took them like 5 years to really catch up everything. Because what, they were making something else? I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? So there's no one mistake going on there. So many layers of it. Build templates, #1. Making WP a partner. Top 3 is tough. It's hard to pinpoint specific problems. Anyone else got any? Stickman, it's good to see you. You were one of those? Where are you, Stickman? Dude, what am I doing here? Trying to break burrows, still on a support build without swapping. And now I'm just wandering off without actually finishing it off. Where is the burrow on this one? Oh, maybe I did break it. Because I don't see it. Let's swap through here. Alright, let's do that. And then that. Oh, that weird sign down there saying activating template that appears and disappears really quickly. Is that because I'm on an SSD and it has an actual loading time? Anyway, right, we gotta find like Kazmir or something. You know what? I can't be bothered with this daily. Alright, do you guys want to see the crazy thing? Alright, so I got some mails yesterday. I remember, do you guys remember 2 days ago, a guy came into chat and said he had like some crazy amount of money, and he wanted to help us out. And I was like, yeah, all right, if you do, I would love that. But you know, let's be real, be very careful about that. Do you remember that? We were in awe. Well, I got a mail. I don't even know if this is the same person, but I presume that it's the same person. And well, I guess I'll just read you guys the mail. We've got some other ones as well, which I will get to also. So, not sleeping can kill. We know that one. Here, so we've got Flamengo Maelstrom, who says, hi WP, I really enjoy your Guild Wars 2 Master project, and I want to contribute over 10,000 gold to it. And as soon as I read this, I sat up. I was like, what the fuck? However, this was 19 hours ago, sorry. However, I want to do so in a way which gives you the biggest advantage for the Guild Wars 2 Master. How do I do so? Should I buy items worth 10,000 gold and send them to you? Because of the 500 gold weekly cap, I don't want to wait so long. So please write back when we can figure this out. Yours, Jules3518. And with this mail, he actually sent 100 gold, just straight up sent 100 gold. I guess so that I knew that he was being legit and it wasn't a joke. So anyway, I started whispering him. He was on. I was online right as I got this mail, so I started whispering him, and we had a long conversation. I said, "Are you sure about this? Is this real?" Blah 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 blah. He said yes. And I mean, I'm pretty much speechless. I obviously don't think I deserve this, even remotely. And we'll just keep plodding along at any old pace. We've got a long way to go with Master. But 10,000 gold's a massive amount of money, like truly insane. And I said, are you sure? And he said he was sure, so we went for it. Now, basically what we decided was legendaries. Because, yeah, the 500 gold cap is going to be insane. That's not going to work. If we trade it all for Mystic Coins, and then I get the coins, and then I sell the coins, we're losing all this money, all these taxes and things. But what I do just need a lot of money on, just straight up, is all the Gen 1 legendaries still, right? So I went to efficiency, and I just gave him a list of all the Gen 1 legendaries that I don't have. And I said, look, just if you really want to contribute, you can contribute with these. And if he had just sent one, I would have been over the moon. You know, one is about 3,000 gold, I think. I think 2,000 for Gen 1, 3,000 for Gen 2. So if he sent two, then whoa, you know, my head's going to explode. And we'll just see where it goes. So here's what Jules sent. Flamengo Maelstrom. Here we go. I wish you the very best, he says. He has sent us to use for ourselves. I mean, I don't know if he's quitting the game or what. He has sent us Kudzu, the legendary longbow, Frostfang, the legendary axe, Rodgort, the legendary torch, the Flameseeker Prophecies, the legendary shield, and one of the underwater ones that I don't have. I already have Kraken. He sent us Frenzy, the legendary harpoon gun. So, I mean, this is wild. This is so fucking insane. There's literally nothing I can say. So, could just everyone in chat, like, give this guy a massive round of applause. Like, he is the true star here. He or she is the true, like, god here. This is the single biggest handout we've had, I'm pretty sure. You know, some have come close, like the Invisible Slippers, or like the 100 stacks of Ecto, or some of the crazy shit from Electra Jones, especially when it comes to guild stuff. This is wild. Like, really wild. I mean, yeah, Guild MM gave us, what, 3, I think? So, yeah, I mean, this is too generous and too lovely, but I'm going to accept it because it's all in the name of Master. And it's, like I said, I really do think this is a community thing. This is not just me anymore, for sure. Especially when it comes to matters of economy. Even when it comes to stuff like achievement points, you guys help so much in chat. So, yeah, let's do it. This feels so surreal. Take all. Brilliant. And then, in addition, he said, the rest of the gold, smiley face, it's peanuts in comparison to my other mail, but still, please take it. Cherry face. And he sent us 165 Mystic Coins, which, by the way, I have not forgotten. Just this week, last week, we got sent epic quantities of Mystic Coins from someone else, all right? I haven't forgotten, and as you can see as I mouse over there, we have 1,824 of them in our bank right now. And here's another 165 that's going on the pile of coins that we've got. I haven't forgotten about those, and those were going to be for gifts of fortune and stuff for some of these legendaries, which now we've just got straight up. So I'm well aware how ludicrously lucky and like outrageously fortunate we are, and how we don't deserve any of it. It's crazy. So thank you very much. I do feel a bit weird. Like, they seem to have got exactly 10k gold. I'm assuming they have more or less, or like I'm worried how they're so precise down to the exact coin. I'm really worried that this is like RMT or something, and now I've accepted the item, so my account's contaminated or something. But this is crazy. Thank you. I mean, Jesus. Ink says, okay, catching up is going to be tough, but I will catch up. Yeah, Carrie's in chat. She's very lovely. She's much more lovely than me. If you guys want to send her a full mail of legendaries. Yeah, and we've still got to do all the crafting for the precursors. We've still got a lot of money to spend on that. Getting the legendaries doesn't ding us all the precursor collections, or even the skins for the precursors, I don't think. We'll see in a second. So, we still got a long way to go, of course. And by that, I mean economically a long way to go. And then there's the matter of the Gen 2 legendaries. It's quite interesting, actually. Episode 1, if Episode 1 comes out and there are no legendaries, there's no, like, Gen 3... we may do it, guys, where we get every legendary in Guild Wars 2. Like, I'm not joking. At the rate that we're getting handouts, we will have all of Gen 1 done in mere moments. You know, in terms of the whole project, we'll have all of the Gen 1 legendaries done. And then it can be money for the Gen 2 legendaries, of which I already have, like, 4. So, you know, we'll just be working away on those. And then I've got to get the ring from the raid or whatever. And I've got to get Warbringer. And I've got to get the Ecto Gambler, the original one, the script one. He's a legendary item as well. But with that, we would have every single possible legendary item in Guild Wars 2. Except those, like, there's a rare collection for salvaging Ascended stuff, which gives you legendary rarity items. But, I mean, do they really count? Anyway, back to the real star here, Flamengo Maelstrom. What a god. And this is what I've been excited to do. I will read your other mails, guys, but this is what I've been excited to do. Here's the moment. There's no going back. Unlock skin. Kudzu? Unlock. Okay, we do get the pre, but not the building into the pre. Unlock. Next, Frostfang. And just to be clear, by the way, if I remove the Sigil of Ice... Oh, the content has been temporarily disabled. Weird. Alright, unlock... Done. Next, let's see. Yeah, it's disabled. It says Rodgot done. Flameseeker Prophecies. Ooh. Now this one's weird because I feel like didn't we craft this? Didn't we buy this just recently? We crafted the Chosen. What were the 2 legendaries we bought? We got 2 of them, right? And then Frenzy and Rage. Crazy shit. So, here's how I want to enjoy some of this. Let's swap. I'm playing a ton of a really shitty build at the moment. It's a Condi Firebrand build, just for funsies. And maybe we can squeeze it by in... I mean, shitty for ranked, by the way. Maybe we can squeeze out in an AT, we'll see. Anyway, this is an interesting build. And Symbolbrand, as well, is interesting. In that this is a build that is 4 unique weapons. That's actually quite rare for Guild Wars, because usually, let's say you're a warrior, usually you have a greatsword, which is a 2-hander, so doesn't fly. Or you're a class that doesn't have weapon sets at all, like the Elementalist or the Engineer. Or you are in a build that's doubled up the same weapon, so like your axe as a ranger, right? So you're not using 4 unique weapons. But this build is 4 unique weapons. I'm running Axe Shield and Sword Focus. They're all different. And I kind of just want to skin them all as legendary now, which we can now do. So here we go. We got Bolt. We got the choice of Epos or the Minstrel. I think Minstrel will probably look better for the Gen 1. We'll go all Gen 1 here. And now this is new. We've got Frostfang. And then we've got the Flameseeker Prophecies. So the pure legendary setup. Now that looks pretty baller. That's so weird to look at right there for me. That is so weird. I can't believe this is on my account. This is like when I play on the like press account that has everything unlocked. I'm like, yeah, I got all this stuff. Dude, I kind of want to do this just so that if someone spectates my build, they're like, all the legendaries, all the flash. Anyway, I know I've put it on an Asura, and first it's a Guardian, so Aegis just obscures the fucking thing. And second, it's an Asura, and you can't see anything. I know, guys, I know. But this is really what I wanted to do. It's all about that icon, and it's all about the purple. We get the footsteps and stuff as well. Frostfang's actually kind of on theme for the color of a Guardian, so is the shield. I guess I could stop looking all red and stuff now. Bolt's really annoying, the sound it makes. I kind of want to make the Shining Blade just because Bolt is so irritating with the... Listen to this. Like, the Minstrel just has a noise, and Bolt is, like, freaking out. So, yeah. Anyway, wow. There you have it. Alright, let's go back onto list now, and let's look at some of your other mails. So, and I'll look at chat. Am I going to be watching the big Path of Exile announcement in 2-ish hours? I'll probably be asleep. I'm honestly so tired. I've been up for a long time. I'm really, really, really sleepy. Once this stream is done, I'm thinking it's Betty Buys for me. Which sucks, because I kind of want to play PoE. But, hey. There you have it. I've got to, like, choose which characters these go on now. So, do you remember a couple of days ago, we were saying that we didn't know what we'd have to talk about on day 200? Well, I think we've now got something to talk about on day 200. The fact that we just unlocked a shit ton more legendaries is pretty crazy. So you might be wondering as well at this point, which ones are left from Gen 1? Oh yeah, let's withdraw these keys now as well. There we go. You're probably wondering which ones are left from Gen 1. Well, let's see. Dude, this is nuts. We go weapons, all types. So sword is Bolt, and we have Bolt. Hammer is the Juggernaut. We have the Juggernaut. That's what we bought recently. We have the Juggernaut. Hardly touched it, but we do have it. Longbow is Kudzu. We now have Kudzu. Shortbow is the Dreamer, and Edgelord me, I do not have the Dreamer. The Dreamer is still to be claimed. What a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the last one I get. Axe is Frostfang. We now have Frostfang. Obviously, I'm just doing Gen 1 here. Dagger is the Incinerator. My first ever legendary. I actually have 2 of those because of Twice Told Legend. Greatsword, there is Twilight. Collected, Sunrise, collected, Eternity, collected. So we got all the great swords, the Gen 1 great swords. Mace. Now this one we don't have. It's the Moot. We don't have the Moot just yet. So that's 2 we don't have. Pistol is Quip. We don't have Quip. That's 3 we don't have. Rifle is the Predator. We don't have the Predator. That's 4. I swear I had the Predator, though. Did I not craft this at any point? Anyway, there you go. So we're missing the Predator. That's 4. Scepter is Meteorologicus, my second ever one. We're good there. Staff is the Bifrost. We've got that. Focus is the Minstrel. We got that. These are all the early ones. These are from the pre-Heart of Thorns days where legendary collecting was like the thing to do. Rodgort for Torch, we actually now have. Pretty good. Warhorn is Howler. I actually collected this right after Heart of Thorns because of the Tempest. Actually, just before Heart of Thorns, I think I made that. On a guess that it was going to be the Warhorn, and it was in the end. Shield is Flameseeker Prophecies, and we've got that one. Spear. Oh, okay, so we don't have Spear. It's Komahawa Kawa this Kataki. We don't have that. But then we do have the Trident, which is the well, the harpoon gun is Rage. Sorry, Frenzy. There you go. And then the Trident, last of all, is Kraken. And we have that. So there's only 4. There's 4 from Generation 1 left. That's it. That's the answer. There's 4 more legendaries for us to make for Gen 1. And once we're at that point, I think I'll be bold enough to go for the full Gen 2 set as well. Which is really hard, actually, on a lot of other currencies and resources. So we'll see. It might mean that we get back to grinding Season 4 and Season 3 and stuff. Do you think we'll have Gen 3 legendary weapons? Right now, I don't think we will. Right now, I don't think. However, if ArenaNet does, over the next couple of Icebrood Saga episodes, end up implementing some, if a Generation 3 even remotely starts to look like a thing, I will probably not go for every single legendary. Because the idea of getting not 9, not 18, but 27. Sorry, it's even more than that, right? It's not like professions. It's even more. To get that many legendaries is crazy. So if ArenaNet ever decides to go Gen 3, I'm cutting it from the list. But if they never make a Gen 3, and we like have a deadline, I'll go for it. All right. So next, again, thank you, Flamengo Maelstrom. You are a legend among us. Okay, then we got multiple phantasms. Sleepless in UK. Worried about Brexit. Despairing about the lack of new fractals. What keeps the wooden potatoes up at 4 AM UTC playing PvP? Carry on. I just remarked because it's so rare to see you online at the same time as I am. Yes, I was up at that hour. So there you have it. And thank you for the star cake. Indeed worrying about Brexit. Who isn't worrying about Brexit? Alright, Agent Chrysanthia. Hi WP. I have a big problem with your classification of classes. Since there is for heavy, bad, one, warrior, brainless, idiotic, moron that can't understand concepts like morality. Then middle one, guardian, can be wise, but also can end up like insane zealot. And then Rev, non-discriminative intelligent class. That works both with heroes like Jarlis and Shiro and villains like Malix and Centaur Moron. In light, you have 2 positive classes, studying parts of nature, and then the evil twisted, unnatural Mesmer. Yeah, I don't know. I think different classes are trying to give like different flavors depending on what you want to roleplay or like just what you fancy. And some of that's like expressed through the color and, you know, the names of the traits and the skills and stuff. And some of it's just sort of personality driven a little bit, I guess. But ArenaNet also kind of decouple personality from class, I think. Like literally you used to have a personality stat, right? Which is now invisible and kind of not played into it anyway. But you still make that choice at character creator. So I don't know fully, but hey, I mean, I think ArenaNet are more interested in everyone having the freedom to do whatever they want. You know, if you want to have a Revenant that looks like a Barbie doll, then by golly gosh, god darn, they're going to tell you that that's okay. Because your money looks the same as everyone else's, so do it however you want. And then, therefore, you know... And I use that as an example because that was quite explicitly shown in the Revenant blog post. They had a thing, oh no, look, here's a Revenant that's not blind, and look, it's got a pony and stuff. Here we go, Ada. Aesthetic and uniforms. Hey, Mr. WP, and happy Master Day. I was listening to your talk about aesthetic in video games and mount skins in the gem store. It made me think of another question. What do you think about school uniforms? The idea is that it creates aesthetics and everyone looks the same. Sure, you can have some personal touches, but it does create a look. Thanks for answering. What? You mean IRL? What's my opinion on school uniforms IRL? Well, I mean, I wore a school uniform. It's kind of normal in the UK to wear school uniforms. I always feel weird watching, like, American TV and, like, American cartoons and stuff featuring kids. Because they're all, like, playing this fucking obnoxious fashion game, you know? They've got, like, that whole other avenue to be judged by, you know? If their parents aren't wealthy, then they have lesser-looking clothes, and you get people being twatty about it. At least for me... The only thing you could judge about my school uniform was when I last had it in the wash and how many holes were in it, and you know, if it was a big hand-me-down or something. That's what you would judge. But so I actually think it's okay. It's probably just my upbringing and because I experienced it. But if I was to design a school, I probably would have all the kids in uniforms. I don't know. I think maybe it helps the kids to bond together to a certain degree. I think there's something that maybe I'm being irrational because I am finding it hard to articulate what's just so positive about it. It feels too casual, though. Little kids at school not wearing uniforms. It feels too casual. You think it's military? No rich, no poor? Yeah, I don't know. I just think... I think it does other little things as well. Like if you force all the kids to be in a uniform, you kind of force them to zigzag back and forth from their house a lot. Like, I remember it was kind of annoying to, like, go miles away and do, like, fucking whatever I wanted. Like, get on a bus and go really far off and just do stupid shit on a school night because you'd be wearing your uniform. You didn't want to be wearing your uniform. So you'd have to go home for a second to take it off and put something new on, and then... I don't know. Those days, though, when I was at school, they always felt so long, you know? You had, like, the breakfast period, where you'd, like, watch TV and, you know, eat cereal and do stuff, and it felt like a good part of the day, the breakfast bit. Then you'd have, like, all the school before lunch, all the school after lunch, and then after that, you'd go home, get into totally different clothes, and then you'd have, like, an afternoon of adventuring and doing whatever you wanted, and then you'd have an evening part of the day, and then finally you go to sleep. Those days felt so long. And I wonder if part of it was, like, because you were in, like, different uniforms in so many different chunks of the day. Anyway, there you go. That's what I think of uniforms. Hopefully that's a good answer for you. Drag CEO says, hi, quick question. I've seen now a couple of times when during Master, you create an extra item to first unlock it. I would like to know if this is really needed, as from my experience with the Mystic Forge, dumping unlocked items to it also unlocks the skin to my account. I might be missing something somewhere. Enjoy your content. No, it's just that I'm not very familiar or au fait with the specifics of the Mystic Forge unlocking constituent components in recipes that I'm filling in, right? And I just don't fully trust it. So I just right-click unlock skin, that's all. You know, if I was being really frugal and really careful and I didn't want to delete anything or just salvage stuff, I wanted it all in the Forge, I'm sure I could be better with all that. But, yeah, it's my own ineptitude. It's no expertise, let me tell you that much. Alright, Casanthia, 14 minutes ago. I must tell you one, if you didn't rank constantly and focus on the game, you would have done Grothmar in first week or two. Maybe sit your character in chair where event you need to start. Turn your sounds on so you hear when the events start. You can talk with chat and rant when event is off and when you... This is actually good advice here. Then you can get the thing. Yeah, like right now, we're in DR when I could have just been standing near the Casimir thing. Hope you're saving the Amalgamated. I'm now normally sending for Gen 2 Legendaries. It's 250 per one. Yeah, I am actually. Every little mail you send, and you send like one Amalgamated or whatever. Yes, I do actually save those. So thank you. And then finally we got Kato. ArenaNet seems to continue the trend of doing the upgradable armors and weapons, which should take up same developer resources as Legendaries. I think it's more appealing to them because more people will appreciate those types instead of a single weapon. Well, I don't know. I think I don't know what you've got to substantiate what you think there. What is more interesting to people, an armor set or a legendary? Now, I know that a lot of you guys might think, oh, an armor set, that's more applicable to me. I tend to get those, and you might have fond memories of, say, Requiem or whatever, the Mist Blossom. But what I mean is, like, when you look at a bullet point and, like, a feature list of a patch and the kind of things you end up having a conversation with someone about to get them back into the game, maybe the legendary is actually the bigger thing, you know? Maybe that is a big part of these releases, and now we're going to see a saga where that's not a thing anymore. I wonder whether that's going to sit well with people or what that's going to feel like. Also, I think it's a bit weird for us to just assume, oh, the guys making these armors were the guys making the legendaries. I mean, obviously there's going to be some overlap there, but who are we to say that just because they've picked one instead of the other? You're just supposing that. That doesn't make that the truth, though. So I'd be a little bit careful of that. It seems reasonable, though. But yeah, I don't know. Guild Wars is kind of at that place where it's got so many legendaries. I think the shine has worn off a little bit. I tell you what would be exciting. I mean, this is going to sound really trash and stupid and dumb of me, but I'm being deadly serious. If they added, like, the concept of a super legendary, like, I'm not joking, and it does something, like, maybe it's got, like, a full damage effect in addition to footsteps and an arm effect and an unsheath and whatever or whatever. Like, but it's, like, 10 times the work of a legendary. Just so that we have that thing again of, like, holy fuck, there's only, like, a couple of these in the whole game. Are you man enough to go for it? It's coming next patch, you know. I think there's something in that, you know. You kind of got to break away from legendary now because it's so old hat to the minds of people at this point. It's not a conversation starter anymore. They got to do, like, divine. Obviously, the devs would be flinchy and scared of that because that's immediately bad press from all those people who want to be vindicated with their ill-gotten opinions when fractals were added. Oh, it's offended today. It's going to be super offended tomorrow. Yeah, all right. Where is it? Where's the tier after ascended? Where is it, everyone? Where is it? Oh, that's right. It doesn't exist. You were full of shit. And you whined. And now you're not held accountable. I see you out there. Fractal whiners. I see you. All right, there you go. So, thank you. Imagine if ArenaNet said, "Are you man enough?" They'd get so fucked by the SJW audience. What are you talking about? Dude, the Guild Wars community is not that off the deep end. Are you man enough? That's not even like... I cannot imagine anyone on the planet being offended by that. You might be slightly miffed that it's like, oh, it's not fully inclusive as me as a girl gamer. But I mean, really. Or you'd have the male gamers mad because of the theoretically offended women that don't actually exist. Just as this whole conversation is about people who theoretically exist. Logos. Dude, I can't see your name without thinking of another game. I would want a good look back at races now when we had a good char patch. So new. Yeah, I like the idea of cultural weapons and stuff. Like super culturals. That's kind of what that headpiece is, you know? A super cultural, kind of. Ratchy says, as a girl gamer, I would say that yes, I am indeed man enough to go for it. Do you have the balls to get the super legendary? I don't know. I like that kind of candor. I don't know what studios really talk to people like that, though. Meatballs? Dude, you're giving me 250 meatballs and 25 amalgamated for no reason at all. Oh, it's Kerry. I was looking at this. I was like, meatballs? What? You know, guys, she's given me meatballs, right? I'm going to bring this into the public now since she's done this, all right? I made meatballs. I really enjoyed meatballs like 2 years ago. And I had them for dinner like maybe like 10 nights in a 14-night spree, right? So I had meatballs for dinner probably 10 nights out of 14 or something like that. It was like a 2-week period where I had them. And then around that 2-week period of meatball insanity, I was having, you know, meatballs at least once a week, right? Something like that. Anyway, it only lasted a little while, and I like meatballs, but she's now convinced that meatballs is all I like. So she sent me 250. But I'm telling everyone, all right, fried meatballs, you can do it with, like, lamb mint as well. They're really good. Bit of red pepper, onion, mashed potato optional. Just fry that up. Get it all, like, really crispy and, oh, my God. Just cut them up, salt them. It's amazing. Could I eat 250 meatballs? Easily. I mean, it depends how long. But I could eat 250 meatballs. I could eat 250 meatballs in a month. For sure. Maybe less than that. Maybe I could eat 250 in like a 3-week period. 2 weeks is probably pushing it. Do it. Dude, I can't afford that many meatballs. Let's see. A pack of meatballs as I buy them would probably give you something like 10. And that's like... It's like... Well, it depends how much other stuff you have with it. If you're just eating meatballs, that can probably be your dinner. All 10. But I mean, holy shit. That's a lot of packs of meatballs. I just accepted 25 amalgamated off of you. You silly fucking goose. I'm going to give that back to you later. I need to take 25 amalgamated. Stream myself eating them. I mean, I could just make chewing sounds right now if you guys wanted. Alright, look, we got to make progress. Okay, just so that this hasn't all been a waste of time since we picked up the legendaries. I am going to get a couple of ticks of Crab Grabber because I did my research and I happen to know 100% that it is Crab Toss going on as the activity right now. Wooden meatballs. Alright. I may have told a little porcupine. It might be Sanctum Sprint. You just have to give me a second to verify that. Wait, what was it again? It's under competitive. I always forget this. Okay, Sanctum Sprint. What were we aiming for? We're just getting to the top, right? That's all it is. We got to get another 10 AP from that, which is going to be another... Not that many, actually, on that one. 16 races. And we're 172 out of 250 on this. This isn't too bad either. Shit. But I'm streaming, and so people are here now. Alright, let's see if we can get a teleport. Because there's only 3 minutes until the end of this, so we've got to be quick. I swear that the faster than light travel doesn't actually exist on those earlier ones. It's because WP's fat. Damn it, Hamato, don't tell people that. They'll believe you. Because they know that I speak to you outside of the streams. Even worse, we're being attacked with the stuns. You love that food makes it on stream every day? Hold on, no it doesn't. Is that why you said I'm fat? It doesn't make it on the stream every day. Sometimes it's a big topic. If I'm hungry, it becomes a topic somehow. But I did not bring up meatballs today. Someone tell me Hamato's fat. Yeah. Suck it, Hamato. Cooking stream. I'm not a big believer in the whole cooking stream thing. People keep asking me to do that. I don't know what I would do that would actually be good with that. There's a whole world of like video production that I just don't know about, you know, in terms of like live action shoots. They're just talents that I don't have. I probably should have. If I want any of the past few years to look good on a resume, I should probably push the world on the horizon a little bit. Oh, I had another Reddit message. I guess I'll keep it anonymous, but I will tell you guys the story. I had a Reddit message last night. I haven't responded to it yet either. This person might be watching the stream or watching the VODs, which is a weird thought, and now I'm responding here before I actually respond to them. Because I don't quite know what I want to say just yet, or how I want to word it. Basically, I've been lazy. But I got a message from an ex-dev on Reddit as well. In the past 24 hours. And they were talking about how they just moved on and we should chat at some point. So, I mean, that was kind of interesting to see. It's not Crystal Raid, by the way. But that's interesting to see after that conversation I had with Boots just the other day. About we keep seeing devs leaving. And I normally am kind of resistant to that whole, oh, Rhett's leaving the ship, blah, blah, blah thing. Right, I think there's a bit of confirmation bias in there, right? Like, I bet people are always leaving. It's just when you notice one, then you're likely to notice the next, and then you're likely to notice the next, you know. Sort of how some stereotypes with absolutely no basis can propagate, right? Like, just as a random example, and I'm not endorsing the stereotype or not, but the whole, like, Asians are bad drivers. If you believe that's true, then you could see a ton of bad drivers and just think whatever. But the second you see an Asian bad driver, you're like, see? And it's like, well, what about all the Asians that were good drivers that you've just ignored and culled from your memory? What about those? You know, that's how a stereotype can misalign with reality. Anyway, similar thing with devs leaving, right? You just feel hysterical about it now because of this window. I think I didn't get anything there because this guy's already done and possibly this guy down here is done as well. No, we're just in the activity, yeah. I have the utility. I noticed. What do you mean? So by the way, just so everyone knows, Hamato in chat is Asian. Alright, he's Vietnamese. He says, I'ma be honest, first gen Asians are bad drivers. What's a first gen Asian? How do you know? Oh, yeah, what? Someone who's just moved over to the States? Dude, the thing is though, right? I don't even. It's probably just not. It's not just Asians, right? Like, I don't know where you guys have been. A lot of people in America never go abroad, right? You never like. America's huge, so there's no judgment there from me, right? If you've never left the States, there's so many amazing places that you can do all kinds of shit there, right? I get it, but if you guys go anywhere like remotely far afield. Like, I had a holiday in the Middle East, right? And holy fuck. The roads are insane. Like, insane. So, I don't know. I just think it's sort of... how strict is your area of your country about road laws? Well, actually, it's one of the weird places. I'm not a very patriotic man, and I don't really care about the accomplishments of the UK in any way, mostly. But I am kind of proud of our like road stats and stuff. I think of all the first world developed nations, we have like the least fatal traffic accidents and stuff. I think our driving tests are at a reasonable standard, and we just seem to have pretty low rates for stuff like that, which is very good. Possibly we have a bit less road rage as well. That's not to say that I've never experienced people with road rage. It's a weird thing to be proud of. Look, it's slim pickings, alright? It's slim fucking pickings. But yeah, I am a little bit proud of that. I'm proud to say that I'm from a safe country that values safety and regulation. I'm not one of these, like, rip all the red tape away people. So, I don't know. No! Come on, man. I don't want to be competitive about this. I spent all my time being competitive earlier. Fuck! You know what? While queuing for tourneys and stuff, people should really be able to do this. Where's the grab bag thing, ArenaNet? Is that going to be coming with episode 1, do you think? Well, I called it grab bag, but you know, the mini season. When does this season end? December 24th. Holy shit. So we're not seeing mini seasons this year, not really. Maybe right at the end, does that count? Oh, I'm so slow here. We're not catching up. I'm at the very bottom. I'm like 5th. I think this is good for the daily. Oh, we got the classic Guild Wars 2 music right now. We just hit a checkpoint, right? Okay, good. Give me a faster than light. Ha ha ha! Suck it. Dude, that's some North American stuff right there. I guess it's because I clipped the wall, it wasn't lagged, but still. For my test, you only need to get a 60 to pass written, and my driving was 90% of the neighborhood. 10% on like a 40 mile. Well, I'm not going to throw any judgment at driving tests or anything. I would certainly be in no place to compare the fucking UK with the US is. But first time I tried my theory, I actually failed my theory. I've been fed all these stories from other people, right? Like one of my brothers just crash coursed the theory, like just crammed it all in the last day and just went and took it and was fine. And there are all these like success stories and people downplaying the theory. And I went in and I did it, and it was one of those weird moments, right? Usually if I do a test, I lack a little confidence somewhere in the test, right? I'll be like, was that really that good? I could have done better. I could have done better. Anyway, when I took my theory, I was 100% confident about it. I was like, yeah, that's fine. First time I took my theory. And I failed it. And what was really annoying as well is they wouldn't tell me what bit I'd failed. I had to do this stupid, you know, like, watch the footage and press the button as soon as you see a hazards. And you don't know if you've pressed it too early or too late or what exactly is, you know, scored against you. So I didn't know how near the margin I was or what. And I got really annoyed with that. But yeah, I actually failed my theory. Okay. Happy to reveal that. I'm sure some people would judge me for that. gonna be a lot of you guys that are like, what the fuck? Why don't you fail the theory? But there it is. That was the first real bit of adult learning I ever did, where I kind of realized, oh dude, I think he gave me first, that there was no teacher that was gonna help me with that. There's no one was gonna sit me down and be like, okay, here's the information, here's this, 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 and this. It was literally like, learn it all on your own, fuck you, kind of thing. Buy a book. No one even telling you to buy a book. That's the thing, right? My practical instructor certainly never did. Our driving tests are much more complicated. Well, they come in those two parts. There's the actual doing the driving, and then there's the theory part as well. And the theory part is like questions, as well as you know, like reaction moments. I don't know, it might have changed recently. Getting driver's license around here is bloody expensive. Costs around £1,600 £1. Dude, cars are just such money sinks. Bunch of money to learn how to drive. Then once you got tax, you got MOT, you got petrol, whatever over maintenance. It's just ridiculous. Much better to live in a well-built town area and get a bike. Hasn't changed except has a perception as CGI now. Oh, is it really? It's not footage, it's CGI. Does it look really cheesy and bad? Money sinks, but you miss having a car. Well, I mean, there's more necessary across the pond, right? Because everything's quite big and spread out. Because you have all these luxurious, massive properties and these huge gardens and big fucking towns made for the car. While we live in these little, you know, peasant villages that we're using horses. Unless they got bombed out. And then you get the nice big Paris boulevards. If you still need the effigy lighting, it starts in 3 to 4. Hey, I do actually. We'll wait 1 minute and then we'll go get the effigy. And I think that's our last effigy. That's some pretty good progress right there. It's hilarious. People all walk like little robots. Really? Dude, I wonder who got commissioned to do that CGI. There's also a different test for manual versus automatic. I don't actually know that. You can't just drive an automatic, though. For sure, you need some kind of license. The thing is here, right? No one would choose to learn to drive an automatic because then you're limited. It's not like prominent enough. It's you don't see it everywhere. So really, you're gonna learn to drive a manual, and then you have the choice to go automatic if you like. It's one of those things where you know as soon as you stop driving manual and you go to start driving automatic, you'll like the fear is you'll get lazy or whatever, right? And you'll lose your ability or something. I don't know. Our houses don't touch unless you live in a complex, and even then. Yeah, I mean, look, getting a fucking detached house or a semi-detached house comes at a premium. Yeah. Ratchy says you won't unlearn it. You barely see manual in NA these days. I think North America's got it right. I don't know what this obsession is. Well, I know why it's there, but if I could snap my fingers and change the UK, I'd put us on the other side of the road and I'd have us in automatics. Cause why not? Fuck you. Get with the program. That's what I'd do if I could snap my fingers. Okay, let's go back up to Grothmar. Looks like the effigy ceremony is there. Why the other side of the road? I just think it's one of those unnecessary complications born from something outdated and people just haven't put the effort in to up turf it now, you know? So it's not going to happen. There's no profit in changing it. Well, there is profit. It's just minor and hard to see. The cost is so steep. The cost is too steep to outweigh. So it's just never going to happen. I do lots of little things like that. I'm going the complete wrong way here. Wait, we're at the Haunting of Doomlord Shrine. There we are. Interesting. I'm totally in this meta event range, and it was still talking to me about the Doomlord Shrine. Okay, flame transported. All right, we're on wave 2. You guys can join me if you'd like, just like Kato has here. Like the USA and the metric system. Well, I mean, look, we're fucked up here as well. That's one of the things I'd change. We're not Imperial here, really. We're not metric here, really. We're some abominable mixture. That I have legitimate memories of being in class as a little boy, having to learn the difference between metric and Imperial, and why we use one for one thing and why we use one for another. And I remember just being confused and never truly learning it, never truly figuring it out. Seriously, like that's like a module for kids studying maths at like low-level education, like, you know, like fucking junior school or whatever. No, I'm not joking. How sad is that? It's so arbitrary and pointless. We got gold, even though we didn't really do anything. We tried. I got a participation gold, guys. Looks just like everyone else's gold, so fuck you. Who said I have to learn what the buttons do? Who said I need to watch a Wood Potatoes open world build video? Wait, am I going to be able to come to NA for patch? Yeah, Kerry, the tournament is tomorrow. So, after the tournament is done, I can go NA. Because I spend my QP on that tournament, and then it'll be another 2-week period. So I can go NA for a bit, and then come back after the patch. It'll be fine. It's really bad in classes because maths you use customary and the sciences you use metric. But there's that very famous NASA fuck up or whatever, right? Where they crossed it, they messed it up. Sorry, I was just scrolling up and reading through some of the messages that I missed there. It wasn't actually NASA. Oh, sorry. No, I just think space, big initiative, NASA. There's not many bodies, right? It would have been cool if the European Space fucking agency or whatever they are did more stuff. They were better funded. But I mean, people shit themselves at spending any money on the EU project, right? Thanks, Mum. Yeah, there's a European space thing. I don't know if it's called the Space Agency. What is it? But it definitely exists. What's a good microwave brand? Mine broke. I actually don't own a microwave, so I don't know, dude. But when I was playing WoW, an old friend of mine I played World of Warcraft with, and we got in a conversation one day. He's a huge air fryer fan, and I've got an air fryer too. I very rarely use it, but I do have it. It's kind of like a microwave, except it like cooks food instead of just vibrating water molecules and making it hot and like floppy. It'll actually like fry things, but it fries stuff with air. So it's actually healthier than frying in oil or whatever. I know that all sounds crazy and magical and fake, but it's a real product and it's affordable and it's pretty good. And they're pretty easy to clean. Obviously, there's loads of different manufacturers and stuff. I would seriously look up, guys. Look up an air fryer. Seriously. Yeah, it's basically like a convection oven. Exactly, yeah. You watched all of my build videos and you still don't know what to play? Well, just pick the one that looks fun, man. Hopefully I demonstrate that all of those builds are, like, capable. Now, you could ask me, like, which is the weakest of those builds? And that's a fun question. But I'm going to cop out of it because I don't know right now. But we'll see. All right, there you go, guys. That's it. I know this has been a weird one, but look, we got 5 legendaries this stream. 5. We almost have every single core legendary. What more could you ask for? Incredible stuff. So, once again, massive thank yous to, not just for the legendaries today, but anyone that's helped as the project's gone along. It's been really, really amazing, and we'll just keep on moving. So, we'll be hitting up that world versus world grind any day now. Got the effigy finished. That's good. Feels like we made some real progress. Obviously, no fractals going on. But, you know, we'll make do as we do. We'll get some more keys and things as well. So that's it, guys. Thank you all. It's been really lovely. I'm just going to cut it off here. I know we're leaving about half an hour earlier than normal, but frankly, I'm exhausted. I want to go to bed. A quick reminder as well, for people on the VOD or people in chat, don't forget to check out Inks, who does basically what I'm doing, just in a morning slot, like a breakfast slot. And he's even here in chat at the moment, I think. So you can follow his channel from there. So, yeah. That's about it. Thank you, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. And don't forget, I did a video on the Herald you guys can check out over on the channel. I'll try and get some kind of speculation or discussion video about the episode 1 soon, because we barely talked about episode 1. And that's just a reflection of the fact I'm not thinking about episode 1 much at the moment, honestly. But yeah, we'll try and get that done, and I'll try to find the time to log into World of Warcraft and get beyond level 41 or make a new character or something so that I get that itch again and finish my script. So we'll try and figure that out. Thank you, everyone. It's been great. I hope you'll have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys. Sweet dreams.